Hello, we have already started types of shallow foundation, in which the first type of shallow foundation we have already studied, that is step footing. Now the next type of shallow foundation is wall footing, or it is also called as strip footing. See, the footing used to support load bearing structures are wall footings or strip footings. This type of footing is used to support load bearing structures. Obviously, when these type of footing support the load bearing structures, therefore the walls transfer the load to the footings directly, because in load bearing structures the load of superstructure comes on the wall, and therefore wall footing directly transfers the structure load to the footing. You can see in the figure the wall footing is, that wall is directly connected to the footing. See in the first diagram, foundation wall, and that wall is directly rest on the continuous wall footing, so it directly transfer the load to the foundation. The footing can be constructed from masonry or plain concrete. This type of footing is constructed by masonry or also plain concrete. And if a masonry is used, still a layer of PCC is given there. At the bottom the PCC layer is must. Okay. So this is about wall footing. Then there is column footing. There are two sub types of column footing. First one is isolated footing. It is provided under a column or other similar member for the distribution of concentrated load in the form of uniformly distributed load on the soil below. See, this type of footing is provided to every individual column separately. Isolate means separate. Isolated footing, separate footing प्रोव्हाइड केलेली असते प्रत्येक इंडिव्हिज्युअल कॉलमसाठी. देअरफॉर आयसोलेटेड footings are provided to every individual column separately. Then the shape may be square, rectangular or circular in plane. These isolated footings may be square, rectangular or circular in plane. It may be constructed either in brick masonry, stone masonry or RCC, steel, grillage, etc. These isolated footings may be made of the different materials like brick masonry, stone masonry or RCC. Okay. These are the forms of isolated footings. As I have already told you that here the diagrams are very important, as we already started with types of foundation, in which we are studying shallow foundation now, and then deep foundations. So in these types of foundations, diagrams are very important. You have to draw these diagrams in your notebooks for the practice purpose. So these are the plan and elevation of each section. Single footing for individual column, this is isolated footing in a square form, first one. Then step footing, slope, circular, these all are the different forms of isolated footing. So next one is column footing. In the column footing there is second one is combined footing. And in combined footing, obviously in isolated footing we provided a foundation or footing for individual column. Now here name itself indicates that it is combined footing. Combined column footing is provided as common footing for two or more columns. When single or a footing provided for single or individual column, it is isolated. And if the footing is provided for two or more columns, then it is called as combined footing. This type of column helps in reducing the depth of foundation, and unequal settlement can be avoided. If the number of columns are rest on a single footing, then we can reduce the depth of foundation. In this type of footing, a common PCC bed is provided on which two or more column rest. For if even though there are two or more columns rest on the footing, but we can provide a common PCC bed for that combined footing. Okay. Combined footing is also provided when columns are very near to each other and isolated column will overlap each other. See, this is another reason to provide a combined footing instead of isolated footing, because when the separation of column is not too much, that means the columns are very close, we are constructing or providing columns very close to each other, then it is suitable to provide a combined footing instead of isolated footing. Shear force calculation is important in combined footing, as the many columns coming at a time. Therefore, shear force calculation is very important in case of this type of footing, combined footing. These footings are constructed generally by RCC materials. Shapes in plan may be rectangular or trapezoidal depending upon the load coming on the individual columns. Again, these combined footing may be provided in, you can see the diagrams, rectangular combined footing, trapezoidal combined footing. These are the plan diagrams for combined footing. Combined footings prevent unequal sections or unequal settlement. So this is about combined footing. These are the two subtypes of column footing. Still now we have seen the three major types of shallow foundation or shallow footing. First one was step footing, then wall footing or strip footing. This is second one. which is generally provided for load bearing structures. Then third one is column footing. Column footing again subdivided into two types: isolated footing and second one is combined footing. Okay, so these are the some important contents from these points. Okay, the next part, very important, that is raft or mat foundation, that we will see in the next video. So thank you.